Innocent minds, reaching out to the stars, breaking all limitations, reaching our destination. Innocent minds.
Good evening, great listener of the Innocent Minds radio show. It's another fresh episode of our show, and I'd like to welcome you from wherever it is that you're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show from. Driving in your car, sitting down in your living room, in your bedroom, hey, lying down in your village, still doing some late work at the office, whatever it is that you're doing right about now, don't begin to embark on this journey of personal development alone. Reach out to your neighbor, friend, brother, sister, hey, cousin, your wife, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, hey, whoever it is. Reach out to anybody if you care about their growth, if you care about their progress, and say to them that the Innocent Minds radio show has just begun. This show promises to have a lot of fun. It's all about growth, personal development, making progressive movement. It's about making changes, and we will often summarize it all by saying that this show brings to its listener the next generation of clarity, possibilities, and change. Can I tell you the truth? The truth that I'd like you to know tonight on the Innocent Minds radio show is that you cannot feature in the future whose picture you haven't captured. Let me say that one more time before we go forward tonight. You cannot feature in the future whose picture you haven't captured. My name is Innocent Usa. I'm a lifestyle coach and a wealth creation strategist. Tonight, I'm privileged, along with my crew, with whom I'm doing the Innocent Minds radio show tonight, to be bringing to you the show de la show. I'd like them to introduce themselves as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Usa. I am particularly very excited to be with you tonight again. My name is Onyike Abraham Onyike, a leadership and personal development expert and also a co-presenter of the Innocent Minds radio show. Tongren is also here.
That's right. Hello, everybody. My name is Tonrian Pantu, and together with Mr. Usa and Onyeke Abraham, I welcome you to this week's edition of the Innocent Minds radio show, where we like to tell you that you can be, do, have, and create anything that you want, because if anything is humanly possible, it is within your reach.
Don't forget that this show is brought to you courtesy NASCO, and this is Learning on the Airwaves. This is where you get your life to experience a lift. Your life will change like you've never had it or never seen it before. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll tell you what's up on the Innocent Minds radio show tonight.
NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. It's so crunchy, so tasty, it's got to be NASCO cornflakes. Mealtime is cornflakes time, my favorite meal all the time. They're rich with vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, now fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
For whatever flavor you may need,
NASCO quality biscuits.
so crunchy and so creamy.
NASCO quality biscuits.
It's oven fresh and tasty for the young and everybody. Take a bite and get the feeling that you get what you need. For everybody, take it everywhere you go. Grab the taste of quality. Everybody say NASCO. For everybody, whatever flavor you may need, take it everywhere you go. Everybody say NASCO.
Get a range from NASCO biscuits today. NASCO cream biscuits, NASCO shortcake biscuits, NASCO cream crackers, NASCO biscuits, the king of biscuits.
It's the Innocent Minds radio show.
Innocent Minds radio show.
This is the Innocent Minds radio show. The Innocent Minds radio show. Innocent Minds radio show.
Listen to the Innocent Minds radio show.
Clarity. Possibilities. Change.
Innocent Minds radio show.
Welcome back from that break. Tonight on the Innocent Minds radio show, we have a lot of things you will learn from. We have the aphorism segment, which I will be taking. We also have the Making a Difference segment with Sandra Chikang, a phenomenal lady you wouldn't want to miss for anything. Tongren, what else do we have on the show tonight?
Okay, we have the Parenting Champions segment with Irene Bangwell. We have the Pep Talk segment with Tonriang. We also have the Inspiration for Influence segment with Mr. Innocent Usa.
You can be part of the show tonight by sending in your feedback, your contributions, and what you feel about what we're doing tonight to our regular number. It's 08032 005725. 08032 005725. SMS only, or you could drop your message on WhatsApp. It's the same number. The show begins in earnest.
Hello there, I'm hanging out with Innocent Usa. My name is Caspan.
It's the Innocent Minds radio show you're listening to. As Onyike talked a little bit earlier on, he talked about we beginning in earnest. And there's this saying that the last will be the first and the first will be the last. Well, even though the Inspiration for Influence segment is the last thing that was mentioned earlier on by Tongrang, we begin in earnest this wonderful evening on the Innocent Minds radio show brought to you by NASCO, this segment that we call the Inspiration for Influence segment. Now, there's something I need you to know very, very quickly about me. A wise man once said that small minds don't comprehend big spirits. To be great, you have to be willing to be mocked, to be hated, and to be misunderstood. So you need to stay strong. Now, because I am very aware of this saying and I'm consciously remembering this saying. Why? Because in some of my work, I sometimes feel completely misunderstood. Misunderstood because as we talk about inspiration for influence, as we talk about leadership, you begin to see that some people do not get a clear lead on where particularly one is heading to. Now, last week on the Innocent Minds Radio Show, I started to discuss with you and to share with you the 7 sources from which learning happens from. And say leaders are people who have educated, people who have been exposed to education and learning, because it is education and learning that brings wisdom. Remember that someone who is a wise man once said that wisdom is applied knowledge. So in order for you to even have knowledge to apply, you first has to be in that place where you are learning and where you are picking up what we would call education. And education is not just what people know it traditionally as going to school. I did a wonderful job from the feedback I've gotten so far in a tape, in a CD, in an audio product that I did recently titled Empowering Education and Learning. Where are you getting yours from? Okay, it was a CD title again, Empowering Education and Learning. Where are you getting yours from? And in this CD, I talked about the 7 different sources from which education can be obtained. And last week we started talking about source number 1. And source number 1, I'd like to remind you quickly, was the fact that education is supposed to be gotten in the first place from home. Okay, but a lot of people leave until the kids have grown up to a certain place and then they send them off to school to get an education, when all along before they started to go to school, the scripting had started, the programming has started, the learning has started, because learning doesn't just happen when you sit in a formal place. In fact, children do not learn in a formal manner. Children learn subconsciously as they watch what you do, because oftentimes we've said to people that children will be saying something like, Daddy, Mommy, what you are doing is so loud that I can hear what you are saying. Think about that for a moment. What you are doing, Daddy, Mom, is so loud that I can't even hear what you are saying. Isn't that, something that would make you ponder for a moment? I like to really ponder about that. That it is so true that action speaks louder than words. But let's go to the second source of learning, which is school. Traditionally, school is supposed to have such a very healthy curriculum. I talk about this in detail in the audio program I talked about that we did. In fact, I would strongly recommend that you get that audio program. To do that, go to the biggest and the best bookstore in town, in Jos here. It's called TLT. City Bookstores. It's located at 20 Yakubu Way, opposite. That's, by the way, the same location where the Innocent Minds office is. Innocent Minds Events Place and TLT Events Place always is. And in this audio program, I talked in detail about this source of learning, which is going to school. Oftentimes, I would hear people say, well, so-and-so didn't go to school, but he has a company where he has employed people who go to school. It's because you do not understand that learning doesn't just happen in school. This person may obtain their learning from one of the 7 sources of learning that I started talking about last week. So today, source number 2 is schooling. When I was in school, my experience in school was pretty interesting. I had a triangular life. My experience was either in classroom, from the classroom to go to, go to fellowship, and from fellowship to end up in the hostel. So it was classroom, fellowship, hostel. I thought that any other activity outside of these 3 was a complete distraction. And so I stayed in a place where I called myself a focused person, a serious person. I wouldn't join Rotaract. I wouldn't join organizations like JCI or ISEC or Rotaract because I thought I was being serious with my studies. But something pretty interesting happened. Soon after I graduated, I realized that all of my stay in school and all of my experience in school didn't give me all of the learning that I needed to be super successful in my career, in my, interactions with people, in my relationship with people, and with different things. So what I realized that began to happen with me was that I started to go right back to the foundation to begin to learn on the to learn from mentors, to learn from traveling, to learn from other sources of learning that you will hear us talk about in subsequent editions of the Innocent Minds Radio Show. But for tonight, we are looking at schooling. And school is not complete. Haven't you heard and seen a lot of people who are very successful in different things that they do, especially financially, and you hear that they are street smarts. And there are other people who are and termed school smarts. Now, street smarts people are often referred to as people who are either made millionaires and billionaires who necessarily didn't go to get formal education in the school. More and more of those people abound. Now, there's something I need you to get straight, and there's something I'd like to clear air upon. We are not saying that school isn't important. We are not, in fact, saying that those who are in school should drop out of school. Problem when we talk about formal education is you are saying that you are trying to encourage someone, a man, a woman who is listening right now and who hasn't been to school and who has given up on themselves, who hasn't been to school and who are saying, you know what, I didn't go to school, my brother is better than I, my other family members are better than I am not as advantaged as they are. No, that's not the case. And we're not saying that school isn't important. We're not saying when people say, oh, Bill Gates dropped out of school or, Steve Jobs dropped out of school, that should become the new rule. Okay, no, that isn't the case at all. See, my personal understanding of Bill Gates' situation is that this guy would have graduated with a magna cum laude. Okay, he was an excellent student. He was an A student. He just found out that school was a complete distraction for him. In fact, that is the truth. There's somebody who is listening to me right now. You are in school, but school is interfering with your education. Can I say that one more time? You are in school right now, but your schooling, you're going to that school, is interfering with your education, because education amounts to the total learning that you pick up from every single source that life throws at you. So where have you been getting your learning from? So learning doesn't just happen in school alone. It happens at home, like we shared last week, and it also happens in school. Okay? Now, there are so many other people who are focused on the fact that they need to get a certificate, What I tell people is that, look, if you are in school, understand that school will give you an opportunity to meet people from different locations and different parts of the world. School will expose you to those people in order for you to learn their cultures, in order for you to pick up from their experiences, in order for you to get rid of all of the limiting beliefs that you had about those people. School, of course, will help you get teachers who can become mentors for you by sharing their lives and their personal stories with you. School offers so much advantage that goes far beyond the confines of a classroom. There's so much learning happening even within schools, even within formal education centers, without it necessarily happening within a classroom. So there's so much learning happening there. If you're in school right now and you're listening to me, or you are a parent, you've got kids in school, or hey, you're about to go to school, I'd like to say to you that you will need to open up yourself to become a massive learning machine from all of the sources that life will throw at you, even while you are in school. Do not let your schooling to interfere with your education. And I have talked about this in even greater detail in the audio product that I said that we have had at TLT bookstores, which is called Empowering Education and Learning. Where are you getting yours from? So I encourage you to get that. I encourage you to step forward and invest in yourself today. Become that person who would understand that for me to make it in life, I need to have gotten my education from different sources. Because there's someone who has been beating themselves and who have been hard on themselves because they were not able to go to school by reason of some happenstance or by reason of some circumstance. So I like to encourage you tonight, okay? There are other sources of learning. If you have had school gives you an added leverage. It gives you an added advantage, and so you want to take advantage of that if you're in that situation. If, however, you haven't been to school, be encouraged. There's still hope for you, because we haven't even talked about the 5 other sources of learning yet, which we will continue next week. And so, like I said, I encourage you strongly, go to the TLT bookstores and get that audio product called Empowering Education and Learning. Where are you getting yours from? Now, let me share something with you as I move on tonight from the Inspiration for Influence segments on the Innocent Minds radio show. My mentor, Adeolu Akemi, one of the people I have learned massively from, is in town next week. He's going to be in town on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. He's a massive person that you can learn and get some education from. He's been here to Jos a number of times. We've brought him here. A lot of people in Jos have met him and have learned from him. Now, what we're doing is to get him to come here and to teach us on a number of issues. Some of those issues would include improving your personal leadership, forming the right business habits, financial intelligence basics, selling and marketing, effective presentation training, how to run a travel business training, how to use social media to promote your business and to promote your self-image, and so many things for 4 amazing days. Now, day 1 is going to be free, okay? And day 1 is going to be Wednesday, the 22nd, I believe. Day 1 is Wednesday, and you can get to be there for free. The rest of the other days, which is Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, you would have to pay to come into that place. So what you need to do to attend the free one, the very first day, would be for you to send an SMS to the Innocent Minds number saying, I need a reservation for the leadership training. Okay, simple. I need a reservation for the leadership training. Send it to 0803 200 5725. Send that SMS right now, okay? Because there are just about 100 seats available, and the first 100 SMSs that we receive, your seats will be reserved, and by this weekend, you will receive an SMS confirming that your reservation has been made. So I challenge you to do whatever you can, not just to attend the free event, but be one of those people who says, you know what, I need to invest in myself. I am my number one investment. If I invest in myself, nobody can take away from me the things that I've put in myself. But if I invest just in cars and property and in business and in other forms of investments, those ones can be stolen, they can get burned, they can get burgled, all kinds of things can happen and they can be taken away from you. But whatever you put in yourself can never be taken away from you. Even if you are killed, no one can go all around the world and follow all of the people you've been able to influence, to impact in, and to add value to. But you start that journey by adding value to yourself. That's what the Innocent Minds radio show is all about. That is why we are partnering with NASCO. That is why we love what NASCO is doing. Do you also love what NASCO is doing? If you love what NASCO is doing, I'd like you right now to go on Facebook and go to the NASCO page on Facebook. Just check for www.facebook.com/NASCO group. Okay? Do www.facebook.com/NASCO group. Okay, it's easy. www.facebook.com/NASCO group. You check, like the page, and leave your comments there. Let them know how much you appreciate their partnership with our organization. The other thing you need to do is to check their Facebook, their web page, their website. It's simply www.nasco.net. You're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. We'll take a break, and our show returns in a jiffy.
It's the Innocent Minds radio show.
Innocent Minds Radio Show.
This is Innocent Minds Radio Show. Innocent Minds Radio Show. Innocent Minds Radio Show.
Good evening, dear listener. I am excited to be on the Innocent Minds Radio Show this great evening. My name is Samuel Walters of the Young Friends of Maths, and I have an exciting announcement for you, our regular listener of the exciting Innocent Minds Radio Show. Are you a secondary school final year student in and around just not local government area, preparing to write the 2014-2015 ordinary level WAEC and NASCO examination, and even the Unified Tertiary Matriculation examination? Then this is for you. The Innocent Minds, in partnership with the Young Friends of Maths, is presenting a special one-day mathematics event designed to provide final year students like you with the required motivation, strategies, key skills, and an exposition of the main topics, including the newly added topics in ordinary level mathematics. This event is divided into 3 exciting parts. Part 1 introduces the session on special motivational presentations, where distinguished speakers with experience will be speaking on topics that include overcoming mathematics phobia and examination anxiety, understanding the place of hard work, and building confidence for excellence. Part 2 is the workshop where participants will be introduced to special practice strategies, key skills, topics breaker, and examination writing techniques after a special diagnostic. Part 3 is the interactive session where participants meet one another, ask questions, share their experiences, and have fun. The date for this event is Saturday, the 8th of October 2014. The time is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The venue is Baptist Science Grammar School along Bauchi Ring Road, Yantrela, Jos. Entrance to this event is absolutely free. For participation, all you have to do is come and pick a form at the Innocent Minds office at number 22 Yakubu Gowon Road, opposite NTA Jos, or call the number 080-680-79746. I read the number again, 080-680-79746.
Somewhere there's a mother crying in her hands, praying for the son who's fighting in the sand. Somewhere there's a boy who's in a danger zone, fighting to ensure his mother's safe at home. And oh, say, can you see that oh, freedom isn't free? Thank you for doing what you do to make sure we have the right to live the way we choose. Someone had to sacrifice, risk their own to save a life. Thank you for doing what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do. Somewhere there's a father thinking of his child. He couldn't be more proud, but afraid all the while. And somewhere there's a girl who's in a danger zone, fighting to ensure her father's safe at home. And oh, say, can you see that oh, freedom isn't free? We thank you for doing what you do to make sure we have the
was a beautiful song by Indy Ari titled Thank You. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Before the song by Indy Ari tonight on the Innocent Minds Radio Show, you heard my friend Walter Samuels talk to you about the mathematics project. I want you to be a part of that. I want you to make up your mind now and say, I'm going to partner with Innocent Minds as an organization or as an individual. Say, I want to be a part of the mathematics project. Send us a message. Let's partner. The project comes up in a few days from now. Please be a part of it. We shift gears on the Innocent Minds Radio Show in a moment, but before then, I'd like to say to you that your contribution on the show is very, very important. Tell us what you think about today's selection of the program. Send your feedback, send your SMS, send whatever you need to do on Facebook. Reach us. Send us messages on WhatsApp chat. The number is 0803 200 5725. On this same number, you can send free SMSs and you can send your messages on WhatsApp chat. We do not take calls on the Innocent Minds Radio Show. My friend Irene Bangwell shows up next with what she knows how to do best on the Innocent Minds Radio Show. Let me remind you quickly before she comes up that he or she who says the thing cannot be done is regularly overtaken by someone else doing it. Don't go away.
NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. It's so crunchy, so tasty. It's got to be NASCO cornflakes. Mealtime is cornflakes time. My favorite meal all the time. Enriched with vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, now fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
Hello, good evening, Plateau. This is the Innocent Minds Show. My name is Irene Bangwell. I'm a children and teens coach. I'm bringing you the Parenting Champion segment. How has your week been? Today we are talking about something that every parent has an interest in. How does time equate parenting? Society has changed and women are doing a lot more in the offices right now. And as a result, we're having kids that we're not so proud about in terms of their culture, their character, and everybody's saying the mothers should get back home and all of that. Today I want to talk to us about the real deal of how time equates parenting. Should mothers go back home? Are there mothers staying at home that still have failed kids? What can be done? And is parenting exclusively a mother's business? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So get your friends, call everyone that you can to come share and listen to us today. First and foremost, I like to start by saying what really is the goal of parenting, so that we know whether time is a factor or a necessary ingredient for getting this outcome. So let's go. What's the outcome for parenting? Having an adult who can take good care of himself in terms of believes in himself, goes after what his life is about, and has the discipline to stay on it, work it out, and treat the people right. Treat the people he meets along the way right. For me, that's what I think the goal of parenting is. So I'm going to take it again. The goal of parenting is to raise an adult who believes in himself, who can get up and do what his life is about, and in the process of his life's journey has the discipline to treat people right. So I'm just asking myself today, do you really need time to bring that out of a person? First, to get a child that believes in himself, there has to be a parent that is constantly around, constantly available to cheer them on when they succeed, when they fail, when they're indifferent, when people don't understand them. For example, parents who don't show up for their kids' speech and prize giving days, it makes them have a feeling that you're not connecting with the things that their life's about. You're not there when they're experiencing their successes. Probably you just sit down at home and evaluate their report cards and tell them, this is not good enough. And well, they didn't see you at PTA, you're not coming to find out how they're doing. And you're just there, you're just negative about all their efforts. You can't raise a child with a healthy self-esteem if you're not there to cheer them on. Sometimes when your kids are not doing well, they just need a hand to hold. They already know they're not doing well. Are you there to tell them it's going to be okay? Parents don't like to tell their kids the truth. Life eventually is going to be okay. A one-time failure does not mean your life is going all bad. You know that as a parent. You know you've made mistakes in the past, you've failed. So why do we tell our kids that
because you didn't do well this session, life is over. Why don't we mobilize the right support to hold their hands when they're not doing well? So we need time to be there to cheer our kids. We need time to be there to help them know that life really works even though you make a mistake. We need our children to know that we are involved in their lives, and we need time to do this. The second thing that has to do with the goal of parenting is having adults who get up and do what their life is about. A parent has to be constantly there to tell their child when they were expected to take initiative. If you're not there with your kids, a nanny does everything for them, you wouldn't know that you're raising a lazy child who has an entitlement culture. But if you're there, you can easily say, no, you get up and do this. You go and have a bath. You pick this. You do that. You do that. You do that. That don't happen when you just drop them off at school and pick them up and come back to sleep and then ask every other person around to do stuff for them. So I'm going to finally wrap up with saying there's a question as to whether how much time should I put into my kids or not. But I'm saying a lot of times those questions have to be answered at individual levels. I'm not going to tell you what to do or what time you're going to put into your kids. But if you're completely passionate about what their life's outcome should be, you will make a priority of making the best out of your kids. I'm wrapping up this segment. You can join the conversation on Facebook, like the page Parenting Champion Show. We are excited to hear from you. Send us text messages and let's share with you in some of the things that are going on in your home. This is me signing out of Parenting Champion segment today. Innocent Mind Show continues shortly.
Yo, this is Jeremiah Gang, and I'm hanging out with Mr. Usa on the Innocent Minds radio show. So you guys don't touch that dial because here is an information resource center. Don't play with it.
If you're just joining us, you are listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. A lot of people listen to this program and they say it is a classroom on the airwaves. And so today we're about to go back to class. We have the interview segment with a phenomenal young woman who features on the program tonight as our guest. She is a market development consultant, a communication strategist, a strategic planning consultant, a project cycle management, PCM trainer and mentor, an anti-human trafficking and child abuse activist. She's got M&E, which means monitoring and evaluation skills. She's a thinker with a passion for improving the business environment and our education system. She believes in the inclusion of women, people with disabilities, and youth in all processes. Kaneng Ruangpam, you are welcome to the Innocent Minds radio show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, tonight, I would love to know a little bit about your background. I mean, this is so huge. How did you wind up here? How did you start? And I mean, I've heard someone once say that you never know where the road of life will lead you to. And so is that what your journey has been like? Some of the things I've described?
Well, yes.
Because I know this is not all inclusive.
but truly, that's what it is. I stumbled across some of the disciplines I have become an expert in by accident, sort of. I believe we never stop learning in life. I am an opportunist. Where I see opportunity to grow, I grab it and use it and acquire as much knowledge in any particular area I come across as possible. Well, I did start in media, and before I was 10, say that.
Before you were 10?
Before I was 10.
What were your chances of making that happen? I mean, how did all that come about?
Okay, one day, it was a weekend. I believe it was a Saturday. Either Friday or Saturday. We got a knock on the door, and I answered the door. And it was a journalist and producer who came to interview my mom, who was into quite a bit herself. They say the fruit never falls far from the tree. Mm-hmm. Well, she was in active politics. She was a manager of resources. She had set up an education outfit. She was a missionary. She was a mentor.
Wow, huge.
Exactly. So, well, this gentleman comes to interview her, and I answered the door, and apparently he was impressed and asked if I could be allowed to feature on his children's program on radio.
Okay.
And with my mother's permission, I showed up the next week.
Were you in primary or secondary school?
Oh, primary. I was about 8.
Okay.
Yes, I was about 8. So, well, there I was on radio. I had fun. It was a live program.
Okay.
Actually, it was a live program.
So there wasn't any editing?
No editing and no real rehearsal per se. We were basically told what needed to be done and we needed to be natural. So sometimes Disney and Nickelodeon are some of my favorite channels. So when I watch some of these channels and children's
Don't
shows...
tell me today. Don't tell me today because you would be like my wife who still adores cartoons.
Absolutely. So, yes, there we were. And after a few weeks, the program was very simple. They called it Children's Requests. So you would read out a shout-out show, as they call them now. So you would read out cards from young people, children, sending out their best wishes to their parents or friends or connects within the community and requesting specific songs. And we sublimed lessons in the conversation. We either talked about lessons from the songs we played, or we just had a little chit chat around issues that affected kids, and we had fun with it. We didn't necessarily rehearse, but we had to prepare the cards that were to be read out, and we needed to also prepare the music, and we did scripts for those.
From all of that came all of your involvement with radio, moving from PRTV.
Actually, I never looked back.
You went to Ray Power, Dark Communications,
I also,
AIT.
Yes, and tourism, which I haven't quite talked about.
Okay.
I was the public relations executive for a state's tourism corporation. No. Well, actually, the journey started at 8, and when I went to secondary school, I continued. I sought my parents' permission to continue. By this time, I was actually producing myself and throwing in a few more segments in the program. I saw co-hosts come and go, but I stopped.
Who is this gentleman who introduced you to all this? Who invited you to be on his show? Is he alive?
I honestly don't know. I owe him big. His name is John Agbejimoni.
Okay, where is he?
I don't know. I have to ask some of my mentors. Yes, because, we've journeyed through life. We've traveled to different places, sort of lost contact. And I started before the cyber compliant age. So we didn't have cell phones like we do now. We didn't have Twitter. We didn't have Facebook
Social
and WhatsApp.
Media generally.
Yes, all that. So if you had to make a call, you had to call the analog phone in the house and the office, that kind of thing.
Well, lucky you guys had analog phones. Okay, well, but you went on this journey and you went, all through.
I never looked back.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. There were people I admired on CBN programs that were on TV then. And I developed a genuine interest for it. And occasionally I was pulled into other programs, which I absolutely loved. So when I was done with school, but through school, incidentally, because I studied pure sciences, it was quite competitive. We were competitive. Everybody in my class wanted to be a doctor or an engineer. We were sort of switched on to sciences. Then at some point, I got admission to study architectural draftsmanship, and I actually picked up the admission letter, and I showed up in school. But everybody, by this time I was a young teen, and everybody was saying, no, that is not you, that is not you. You're more of an entertainment person, a show person, a media person. Well, I already had the interest anyway, so I dropped out, and I had a full-time job offer.
So you are some kind of school dropout.
Yes, I am. Okay, for the first time, I'll admit I am.
You dropped out of
I dropped out of school.
Okay.
I got out of Aki.
And then you dropped into something else.
I dropped into full-time media. I was a teenager, but I had a full-time job, and I continued. And the station gave me the opportunity to actually acquire more training. It was pretty hands-on. But we also had classroom training where I went for basic announcers training. And over time, I was opportune to develop versatility in media. The only thing I didn't do then was print. But almost every aspect of broadcast had me experiencing what it was like. Eventually, I did print. It was a brief spell, though. I was correspondent for a news magazine that is called The Economist. I still have my ID card. It's all
That's an international
wilted.
news media.
Well, yeah, this one had a local content flair, about 70%, and I was correspondent. I was here in Jos. So that's basically how the journey began, and I stumbled across tourism out of
How did
opportunity.
you get into, human trafficking and the anti-human trafficking networking thing?
Okay.
And child abuse and all of
Right,
that. How did you
right.
get into that?
About 6 years ago, let's do the math now, which I wasn't too good at, from 2008. A friend calls. Her name is Anna Bock. She's the director of a faith-based youth mission group that empowers young people in media to be able to to change the world. Called me and said, "Oh, Kaneng, I have this project coming up." Oh, rewind 2 years earlier when I met Anne through her sister, who's a mutual friend, an acquaintance of mine. Anne and her team of young people and volunteers were promoting a movie about HIV and AIDS and the role of young people in that. And I was in Abuja then, and she needed contacts. I was heading a unit of dark communications, handling radio operations, and they needed the opportunity to be able to speak. And we know that the media landscape is not just competitive, it is harsh and 101% commercialized. All round,
Today.
even the government owned, yes. So without money, it's difficult to actually
Break into.
exactly lobby the media, get their attention to focus on issues. So, well, there I was, and I saw the need to have the message out. They were going to premiere the movie. They could have probably made money from the movie, but I completely understood that they scrimped and saved, and the objective was not to make money from it, but to get the message out. So if money came, it was to facilitate their logistics.
So what was your role?
I gave them the time on air on quite a number of programs. We had health programs on the station, and I connected them with the producers, and I said, pick it from the health angle and talk about it and get people to know that the premiere is coming up and they should go watch at the Women Development Center in Abuja. Yes, and so, well, there we developed a friendship, and they seemed eternally grateful. It was also useful for me because interacting with them and hearing their experiences helped me understand another perspective of the HIV and AIDS issue from the youth perspective that young people will probably normally not talk about their perspective. So, well, yes, I also gave them a number of media contacts in other media organizations that could help give them a voice, including
Eventually,
the BBC World Service Trust.
You got involved full time when you're still in paid employment?
No. My history of employment is a long story.
Well, I wanted to get into your involvement with human trafficking and child abuse.
I was
as an activist.
Yes, I was a consultant then. I was actually one leg in dark communications and one leg out as an independent person, a freelance media person. Citizens reporter, as I call myself sometimes. So, well, Anne calls again and says, "Oh, Kaneng, we have something else coming up. We did the HIV and AIDS awareness movie called Shadows in the Night, and now we have something else." And she told me she got the burden or the interest when she went for a training program in Germany. And part of our assignment was, well, they went out in the field and she saw what she thought were mannequins, half naked, beautiful women that apparently were commercial sex workers. They were prostitutes. And she got to discover a few of them were Nigerians. And she felt, no, this just doesn't seem right. So it became her project. And she was able to get the German government to actually buy into it so that there could be awareness building, targeting mostly media and journalists, train them in covering trafficking. So that was when she called me up and said, Kaneng, let's do this. And we would actually get trained by the Deutsche Welle Academy
so you
and
got
work
involved.
with them. So I got involved.
Okay, now I'll take the last question and then we'll quickly move on, take a short break. I'll be focusing on, have you looked at, summarize for us your involvement with human trafficking and child abuse as an activist? What are have you really seen paradigms shift? Have you seen people change? Have you seen a tangible impact, with all of the campaigns you were involved with and with all of the things people are doing? Is something really shaking somewhere?
To be honest, I will say yes, but not enough.
Okay.
So my first honest answer will probably be no. I think we're still at the level of awareness building. There's so much. We are a permissive society. We're a society that lives in denial. We have a shame culture. And so there's so much people don't know.
When you say denial and shame culture, what do you mean?
Well, yeah, as a child is probably abused within a home and they can't talk about it. Or
To
maybe-
protect the adult involved.
well, yes, to protect the
whoever.
adult out of fear. Or maybe parents know, but they can't talk about it. Maybe a child, a boy or girl was abused by somebody outside, but they can't talk about it because they feel, oh, it'd be shame, will be stigmatized. Yeah, so that shame culture is contributing to a lot. And other elements of human trafficking that have to do is transferring, selling our underage kids to go work somewhere and we get money in the name of house helps. A lot of people who are within the source communities do not even realize it.
Source communities, what do you mean?
Well, where on the supply side of the human resource, the villages or the states that often give out their
Villages,
kids.
towns, and cities.
Villages, towns, and cities.
Yeah.
But for Nigeria, mostly the villages and smaller states that move kids from either villages to Jos City or move kids from Jos to Abuja or Lagos or Kano or other
By the way,
bigger
this
cities.
is happening in every city in
It's
Nigeria.
happening in every city in Nigeria. So, but we've gained a lot of experience, but we realize that people still are denying. They don't know it's happening or they're not accepting it's happening. So that's why impact is difficult to measure. But a few communities we've been able to penetrate and engage. We have had what we call in training aha moments where people come into realizing that, wow, really? And that goes a long way because it affects the way they think about these issues when they're confronted with them in terms of human trafficking.
Okay, well, we'll take a short break. We'll be back. Don't forget, if you're just joining us, it's the Innocent Minds radio show brought to you by NASCO. We've had in the studio Kaneng Rangpam, the market development consultant, a communication strategist, strategic planning consultant, project cycle management trainer and mentor, and of course somebody who is an activist in the area of anti-human trafficking and child abuse, as well as quite a number of very impressive achievements on her resume. We'll be right back after this short break.
NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. It's so crunchy, so tasty. It's got to be NASCO cornflakes. Mealtime is cornflakes time. My favorite meal all the time. Enriched with vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, now fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
Listen to the Innocent Minds radio show.
You're welcome back this wonderful evening. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. It's a personal development program that focuses on putting in the hands of the listener tools, resources, skills, and information that changes paradigms and helps them to take action in a specific area of life where it empowers them. It also empowers the community where they are at. I hope you're enjoying yourself this evening. We have had in the studio tonight Kaneng Rangpam, who is, like I said earlier, is being involved with quite a range of very, very important issues that affect society. She is an anti-human trafficking and child abuse activist. She is got monitoring and evaluation skills. She's a thinker, someone with a passion for improving the business environment and our education systems. She believes in the inclusion of women, people with disabilities, and youth in all processes, and is also involved with gender equity. She's a market development consultant, a communication strategist, strategic planning consultant, a project management, project cycle management trainer, and mentor, among several other things that time will fail us to mention tonight. Once again, Kaneng, you're welcome to the Innocent Minds radio show.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about project monitoring and evaluation skills. Why do I feel talking to you tonight that there's somebody who's listening to us on radio and they know nothing about project management and evaluation, either as a student, a career person, a government worker, a government official, politician, and they're thinking, what has that got to do with me, for goodness sake? Break this down to an everyday level in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, monitoring and evaluation basically encompasses the checks and balances that we put into whatever we're doing. And each time I'm talking project management or its elements, I go back to our mothers. They are some of the best managers of resources. Things have to be time bound. They know the exact measure of what goes into the soup and all that. They keep checking to be sure it's not burning. That is monitoring. and some elements of evaluation when it's all done. Has everybody
At
been able
an
to get there?
informal level.
Yes, but it's basically the same approach. Now, in terms of projects that we do today, either as government or just organizations, we come up with action plans. There's what you'd like to achieve today. You have an overall purpose. You have an objective or you have a goal that you would like to achieve. You have a mandate to deliver to the people.
Have we got projects that do not have these to them to, keep them on a leash or something?
Well, we should. I think on
do we
paper...
have situations where many don't have?
That's what we see. Those of us who have M&E, monitoring and evaluation skills, that's what we sense. When you find an organization or government being very reactive to issues, that means they didn't anticipate it. That means they probably didn't have a monitoring plan, or we're not monitoring at all. Because if they were, checks and balances, you're able to see what is working, what is not, and what can you do to stem it. You don't let things go out of hand and become totally damaged before you begin to do damage control. So we sense from an outsider point of view that, probably there was no monitoring and evaluation plan ever developed for that project or that office or that ministry or that organization. And that's why things are going bad, and then they're being reactive. So with monitoring, you constantly check in the course of that project. It could even be a day's project.
Projects that have gone on for which people have had not the kind of feedback they want, or not the kind of results they want. Things have gone really, really bad. How can project monitoring and evaluation help correct anything?
Fix it from the beginning. You need to have a monitoring and evaluation plan.
So no shortcuts?
No shortcuts. From the beginning, when you're planning to do that project, that's when you're also planning how you're going to monitor from week by week, month by month, and probably year by year, depending on the life cycle of that particular project. Evaluation comes mostly midway, and perhaps it could be every 3 months, every 6 months, every 12 months, depending on how long that project is going to last. And finally, once at the end of the entire project to see whether it worked or not. And there you also assess the impact. What in some areas it is called impact assessment, And actually, it's a very smart idea. When you assess your impact, when you're evaluating the project, looking at it overall when it's all done, you're able to pick your impact stories. That we did this, we did that, it worked, this is how it has changed the lives of the people, whether it's road construction or feeding, some people in the village or dredging a borehole.
Okay. Now, when you're described as a market development consultant, communication strategist, strategic planning consultant, somebody's thinking, this big grammar. And it begins to, send home for me something that is quite critical and huge, which is, our being averse to professionals, and people who can help add value to whatever we do.
Yeah.
I see someone wants to build a structure and he says, what do I need an architect for? They charge too much. Hey, draw a line here, draw another line there, and then do this, and then put my latrine toilet for me there, put the kitchen there, and up the building goes, and then the floors come. And
exactly.
Now, talk to us a little bit about what you have noticed is people, what is the negative attitude that people have towards professionals and paying for professionals and paying for all of this expertise and really not just paying but appreciating the inclusion of these people into all just the fabric of our society generally.
I'm not going to be nice.
Okay.
I see our community as being ignorant, as being cocky, claiming to know it all, have it all, and also being cheap. For those who you finally convince that you need this service or these services, they say, okay, well, yes, we do, but we can't afford it. They don't even give you the opportunity to, just like with building or construction, they rather go get direct labor of inexperienced hands, not to get professionals that can advise. You need communications. Every organization needs a communication strategy. You need, within a communication strategy, you need a crisis communication plan. If we look at the bombing of the UN building in Abuja, we look at the bombing of the police headquarters, we could see where there were even flaws, even with the UN building bombing, in a crisis communication plan. They probably never really had one. Or if they did, they never really
it's somewhere
used
like
one.
Plateau here where we have had quite a number of such incidences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what to do when a crisis occurs. And they'll tell you, well, we will know what to do when we get to
that
that
time.
bridge. But that is not the attitude. So that makes you ignorant. It is crucial. You may spend money getting an expert who would help you in strategic planning, which is branding your entire project, all the way to your action plans and monitoring and evaluation plans, and probably even a communications plan and all that. You may spend a bit of money in it, but it will save you a whole lot more.
How can we bring this home? Because, some people are listening to this, they don't know what you're talking about, strategic corporate planning and this and that. And there are some farmer, this person is a student, she's a housewife. And we're saying it's this housewife that one day becomes a commissioner. And so she takes this ignorance to that level. Is this housewife that one day becomes the PR consultant for or PR manager for a construction company?
Right.
Is this person who is today a lay person, an ordinary person, and with this level of exposure, this level of this, that one day gets here? And so if they are averse to working with professionals, so what would you be saying to that kind of person where you are, where they are?
Yes.
To begin to appreciate what we're
absolutely,
talking about.
yes. We open up your minds to professionals.
So
and
keep
tools.
an open mind.
Yes, keep an open mind.
Don't feel threatened.
Don't feel threatened. And the interesting thing about project management and all these communication strategies and areas is that there are tools that you apply even in your home. If you understand how to use them, there's a market for every product. Even if the product is information, there's a market for it. So it's how to design how you reach out to your market. So even if it's cooking for your family, there's a market for it, and how to design how to deliver the best. That's what most of the elements of project management deliver. So it's good to have an open mind, which is something I've had serious problems with. I've been back in Jos for a few years, but I basically just sleep in Jos. I have to go find work elsewhere. I don't want
Because
to
you see a
say they're
situation
more
where-
advanced, but
Yeah.
but you find organizations that really appreciate that in Abuja, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, even in Kano. You have multinational organizations. It's a competitive world out there. So the best thing is if you're going to shop, you have a shopping list. So that's what project management sort of does to you. It prepares you. So before you step out there, you know what you're going to do. Like we look at strategic planning, every organization, every local government, for instance, that is setting up needs a strategic plan. What are we going to do with for the community? Let's conduct a SWOT beam. Let's know our strengths, our weaknesses, our threats, and our opportunities. These are the things that happen when you have a strategic planning expert come and work with you, help you think through the processes, help you design the processes, and you have the tools to work with, and you're able to mitigate because you assess, you project things that could go wrong.
What has the absence of us understanding this fundamentally and activating ourselves and being in a place where we're able to appreciate all of these professionals, what has the absence of this cost us as a nation, as families, as organizations, as a community?
Too much.
Churches, mosques, different people.
Unquantifiable damage.
How do you mean? Can we see the damage you're talking about?
Well,
can we feel it?
Okay, I'm not sure this will be very clear, but I'll take it from this angle. It's when we get to realize what we would have saved by just anticipating the dangers, things that could go wrong, and mitigating them, we realize that because this is generic, you could save yourself 50 to 80 or 90% of problems or stress or damage or losses that could have been incurred if you had applied specific project management tools in either communications or strategic planning or just project cycle management, which is more about working with communities and getting them involved in whatever help you're bringing them. So the damage is actually unquantifiable. I cannot, we don't have enough time to begin to pick out within our community things that would have gone wrong. Our attitude to things, for instance, even if there's been a flood or God forbid there's been some bomb blast or some kind of crisis and we didn't know it was going to happen, it's happened and we need to reach out to specific groups. That's when you have crisis communication strategies come into play. That's when you have effective communication strategies come to where you get the buy-in and popular support and proper understanding of of what it is, whether you're giving relief or you're helping people through whatever situation, to just understand what's going on. So you leave a lot of room for assumption, you leave a lot of room for retaliation, because some of these strategies probably never really existed, or they exist on paper and are not being adequately implemented.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we'd like to remind you that you're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. My name is Innocent Usa. I'm a lifestyle coach and a wealth creation strategist. The Innocent Minds radio show is brought to you by NASCO, our wonderful friends and sponsors. Well, we would like to take a break right now and have our guests in the studio tonight come back on the Innocent Minds radio show next week, same time, same station, and get to talk about very personal issues and very personal things that concern her life, her lifestyle, and other things that I'm sure would challenge you and would encourage you. One of the things that excites me is the fact that Kanen Rangpam, our resource person and guest today on the program, has been to the Innocent Minds weekend coaching and mentoring program, also brought to you by NASCO, where she has taught participants free of charge. Okay? This weekend is another opportunity for you. Step up, come to our event this weekend, and I hope you get to learn something for yourself. It is free. Location is 20 Yakubu Gawan Way, directly opposite NTA Jos. Do not forget, we need to hear from you as far as what you are learning on this radio program is concerned. What are you learning? What can we do for you? Hey, send us an SMS, okay, telling us what you want to know. Ask us questions, send your contributions. Send it as an SMS to 0803-200-5725. The Innocent Minds feedback number again is 0803-200-5725. If you use that same number and you're on WhatsApp chat, you can send us your feedback for free via WhatsApp. If you're on Facebook, check the Innocent Minds page on Facebook. It is simply www.facebook.com/innocentminds. It's one word. It ends with an S. Okay? You can also check Friends of Innocent Usa and Innocent Minds. Hey, if you want to hang out with Innocent Usa, who is one of the presenters of the program, I would love to do that. Simply send me a Facebook friends request. Okay? Search for me on Facebook. Just search for Usa Innocent. Okay? www.facebook.com/Usa Innocent. Usa is spelled USAR. I'd like to meet up with you, remember, this weekend at the free Innocent Minds coaching and mentoring program brought to you by NASCO. NASCO brings people together to this venue where we're able to motivate them, inspire them, challenge them, teach them things that adds value to them and helps them to be better people. It's free of charge because NASCO pays for that. But you need to walk in and make sure that this week is some opportunity that you are going to take advantage of. It's 9:30 a.m. TLT Events Hall, opposite NTA Jos. I'd like to see you there. The Innocent Minds Radio Show will go on a short break. We'll be back.
My name is Dunka Joseph Gomwok. I'm the senior pastor of Covenant Word Christian Center International. I listen to Innocent Minds on the radio. It's life-changing, a lot of great information. Life is a product of what you know. Life is a product of your understanding. Listening to Innocent Minds will change your mindset and change your life. Listen to it consistently. Get your friends, get your loved ones to listen to it. You will not regret it. God bless you.
NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. It's so crunchy, so tasty. It's got to be NASCO cornflakes. Mealtime is cornflakes time. My favorite meal all the time. Enriched with vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, now fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime. NASCO cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
From the emotion of peace, there comes a new
You're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. Jeremiah Gang there with a beautiful song called Let's Hold Hands. And Jeremiah Gang holds our hands tonight on the Innocent Minds radio show. And our partners and our friends at NASCO hold our other hands. And together with you beside us, we move forward to build our nation, build our community, and build our own lives, investing in personal development and trying and pushing to be better. Next on the Innocent Minds Radio Show, my friend, very, very close friend, and somebody who loves and is passionate about children and the community as well, Mrs. Sandra Chikan, talks about adoption. I know you're going to learn some very powerful truth from her presentation right now. Remember, all of this is on the Innocent Minds Radio Show, brought to you by NASCO.
It's the Innocent Minds Radio Show.
Welcome, friends. This is Sandra Chikan on Making a Difference. Last week, we started talking about adoption. I work with Kingdom Kids Club. It's a non-governmental, child-focused organization that takes care of orphans and vulnerable children. And on Making a Difference, we seek to answer questions about orphan care, and we seek to point people to areas of need, even in orphan care. Last week, we started talking about adoption, and we introduced the concept of adoption. Today, I'd like to continue that and see if there are more questions that we can answer. One of the reasons why people want to adopt children is the mere fact that they are childless. In the Bible, we had different examples of women who were childless. Abraham didn't have a child until he was very old. Hannah didn't have a child of her own. Eventually, she did. And so we know that this is something that spans way back into the past. In Islam, I hear it has developed its own concept known as kafala, where a child who cannot be cared for by his biological parents may be taken by another family to live with them permanently. But the child is not entitled to adopt the family name or to inherit from the family. And so adoption touches upon the adopted child's status because it affects his legal rights, welfare, and obligation. Adoption confers on the child all the rights vis-a-vis his adoptive parents, as if the child had been born to them lawfully, as well as imposing on the adoptive parents parental responsibility equivalent to that of the natural parents of the child. Sounds like big grammar, but it just simply means that once you adopt a child, the child bears your name. The child is an heir to all that you have. Everything that you have belongs to the child. In the case where you die, everything will end up with the child. And you as a parent, it is your responsibility to clothe him, to educate him, and to give him shelter. And all that a biological child would access, you are responsible to do that to your adopted child. Friends, it's not an easy thing, but it's possible. With God, all things are possible. You can do it. I have a beautiful poem here that an adoptive parent wrote, and I'd love to share it. It's called The Gift of Life, and it goes like this. It says, I didn't give you the gift of life, but in my heart I know the love I feel is deep and real, as if it had been so. For us to have each other is like a dream come true. No, I didn't give you the gift of life. Life gave me the gift of you. As an adoptive parent, life is giving you the gift of this child. God is giving you this child as a gift. The question is, where is that child? I've been trying to get that child. How can I go about it? I've tried what is humanly possible. Those are the questions that we seek to answer here on Making a Difference. And I'd like to ask you right now, if you're out there and you would like to adopt a child, if you're out there and you've been considering adoption, or you're at the last stage of even adopting a child, what questions do you have? What has been your experience? We'd like you to share those experiences even on Making a Difference. I'm afraid this is all we can take tonight, but the discussion continues, and hopefully by next week we will give you the nitty-gritty of adoption. We're still giving you information. We're still introducing concepts, and we're still dealing with issues that may arise from your desire to adopt. I'd like to end by saying there is a way out. And if truly you would love to be a partner in orphan care with Kingdom Kids and other relevant organizations, you can send us a text message on 070-3796-0115, 070-3796-115, or call us on the same number. You can send a mail to us at info@kingdomkidsorphanage.org. I'll take that one more time, is info@kingdomkidsorphanage.org. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and until next week, remember, we're still on the Innocent Minds Show.
It's the Innocent Minds Radio Show.
Good evening, dear listener. I am excited to be on the Innocent Minds Radio Show this great evening. My name is Samuel Walters of the Young Friends of Maths, and I have an exciting announcement for you, our regular listener of the exciting Innocent Minds Radio Show. Are you a secondary school final year student in and around just not local government area, preparing to write the 2014-2015 ordinary level WAEC and NASCO examination, and even the Unified Tertiary Matriculation examination? Then this is for you. The Innocent Minds, in partnership with the Young Friends of Maths, is presenting a special one-day mathematics event designed to provide final year students like you with the required motivation, strategies, key skills, and an exposition of the main topics, including the newly added topics in ordinary level mathematics. This event is divided into 3 exciting parts. Part 1 introduces the session on special motivational presentations, where distinguished speakers with experience will be speaking on topics that include overcoming mathematics phobia and examination anxiety, understanding the place of hard work, and building confidence for excellence. Part 2 is the workshop, where participants will be introduced to special practice strategies, key skills, topics breaker, and examination writing techniques after a special diagnostic. Part 3 is the interactive session, where participants meet one another, ask questions, share their experiences, and have fun. The date for this event is Saturday, the 8th of October 2014. The time is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The venue is Baptist Science Grammar School along Bauchi Ring Road, Yantrela, Jos. Entrance to this event is absolutely free. For participation, all you have to do is come and pick a form at the Innocent Minds office at number 22 Yakubu Gowon Road, opposite NTA Jos, or call the number 080-680-79746. I read the number again, 080-680-79746.
About growth, success, personal development, getting results massive, pushing our boundaries, overcome limitations, fulfilling your destiny, reaching your potential. You can create anything you want. Innocent minds. It's all about clarity. It's all about change. It's all about increase.
You're listening to the Innocent Minds radio show brought to you by NASCO. We'd like to take a moment and acknowledge messages that have come to us from you, our regular listeners, and then, get to use some of your messages to inspire somebody and to challenge somebody and to encourage someone else who is listening. The first message is coming from Elkanah Gambo from Gokim in Kanke local government area. Elkanah says, "Good evening, super presenters. Actually, I have been a follower of your program since its inception. I want to commend you for the program. It has helped me to avoid bad company and also to learn how to save from any of the little income that comes into my hands. I also know how devastating alcohol is to my life, so I have stopped just because of listening to this program. Thanks for the idea. Though distance and resources stand against my desire in attending your Saturday free events, I will start to do whatever I can to attend it. Keep up with the good work. May God Almighty bless you abundantly." You know what? I'd like to thank you so much, Elkanah Gambo, for your message that came in tonight all the way from Kanke. We really, really appreciate your message. And I'd like to say to you that you too can be, do, have, and create whatever it is that you want in your life as you continue to listen to the Innocent Minds radio show. As far as coming to our Saturday event is concerned, I'd like to ask you to do whatever it will take you so that very soon, in fact, this Saturday, we can see you and meet with you if you are committed to coming to our Saturday events. These events, by the way, are events that a lot of people will need to go to as a seminar or a training that is for entrepreneurs, that is for leadership, that is for, helping people to get perspective on different areas of their life and to learn how to win and how to really put in your hands the tools and the resources to make progress in your career, life, communication, business, money, and whatever areas. But because of our partnership with NASCO, it is now possible for you who is listening right now to be a part of our free Saturday events. These are trainings and seminars, like I said earlier, that should cost a lot of money. The location is the number 20 Yakubu Gawan Way, located opposite NTA Jos. So 20 Yakubu Gawan Way, opposite NTA Jos. That location is the location where you have TLT Events Hall. It's the same place where you have the Innocent Minds office as well. Every Saturday at 9:30, we meet and we're able to challenge each other, watch inspiring videos, and do different things that encourage, challenge, get people to learn and to take responsibility for themselves, for their career, and for different things. The next message is from Ejiofor, all the way from Zonkoa in Kaduna State. He says, my name is Ejiofor from Zonkoa. It's my mother that teach me how to cook. My father says, I love this boy alone. This boy is not my father would say to my mother, leave this boy alone. This boy is not a girl. He is a boy. But what my mom has taught me in terms of cooking today has helped me. Thanks for your discussion last week with Mrs. Esther Bitrus. It's an encouragement. Well, Ejiofor from Zonkoa, thank you so much. It's good to know that you listened to the Innocent Mind Show, and what Esther Bitrus said on the program last week encouraged you in such a tremendous manner. We really, really thank you for always listening to the Innocent Minds radio show. The next one says, hi, Innocent Minds crew. Your program is very interesting. Please keep it up. And I would like to say thank you for bringing Mrs. Esther Bitrus on the program. I love the way she speaks and I love the way she carries herself. She is such a good mentor. This is from John Mankani, all the way from Lafia, the headquarters of Nasarawa State. Okay? If people are listening all the way from Lafia, what excuse have you got? I love this person who sent this message, John Mankali, all the way from Lafia in Nasarawa local government area. The next message is from Saming Danladi, all the way from Pangshing here in Plateau State. He says, I want to thank all of you presenters of this program. Please, I want to know, as I ask this question, does it mean that if I fail today, I would continue to fail forever? Well, here's my answer for you, Saming Danladi from Pangshing. That is absolutely no. Failure, there is actually no such thing as failure as most people would know it. What many people call failure true champions call feedback. What is feedback? Feedback is something that you learn, something that you pick up after you have gone through an experience. What you get as a result of what has happened before. So we would like to call what many people call failure as feedback. You never really fail in life if you pick up yourself and you walk forward and you make progress. Okay? The challenge is you would say you have failed if you stop. But my encouragement for you today is never stop. The next message is from a friend of ours, Kura Sunday from Sabon Seruki in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. He says, whenever I'm listening to your program, I keep growing in life. Kudos to you people. I encourage you to keep it up. Thank you so much, my friend, for sending in your text message. We really, really appreciate it. We have this one all the way from Livinus in Pangshin. He says, this program, the Innocent Mind Show, is capable of helping people towards rapid transformation in their lives and in their careers. We really, really appreciate you also for encouraging us and letting us know that the Innocent Minds Radio Show transforms you and helps you and many other people in terms of changing your lives. Thank you so much for that feedback. These days, our free seminars are brought to you courtesy of our new sponsors, NASCO. So you want to attend the one coming up this weekend. This Saturday, 9:30 at the TLT event. So this seminar should cost a lot. But because NASCO has made it available in order to build a community as part of their corporate social responsibility, it's available to you for free. So come together. Let's sharpen ourselves. Iron sharpens iron, and so shall a man sharpen the countenance of his friend. I'd like to see you this weekend. I'd like to make sure that you show up and you are able to sharpen someone else as someone else also encourages you and sharpens you. Don't forget, next week we're going to be having Adeolu Akinyemi on the program. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you don't go anywhere. He's one of the most inspiring young people you will ever meet in the city of Jos and of course all through Nigeria. He's a very inspiring young man. Next week also he's going to be here from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here in the city of Jos. Okay, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you'll be able to do that. I'd like to leave you with this. Make sure you follow our sponsors, NASCO, on Twitter as well. NASCO's Twitter handle is at NASCO Group. Okay, on Facebook, you can search for www.facebook.com/NASCO Group. Follow NASCO on Twitter and on Facebook, and you can also visit the NASCO web site. It is simply www.nasco.net. It's very, very important that you let our sponsors know tonight as you do that this program is helping you, it's a blessing to you, and you, like us, are deeply appreciative of their sponsorship and their support of the Innocent Minds Radio Show. Don't go away.
Whatever flavor you may need, so crunchy and so creamy. It's oven fresh and tasty for the young and everybody. Take a bite and get the feeling that you get what you need. For everybody, take it everywhere you go. Grab the taste of quality. Everybody say NASCO. For everybody, whatever flavor you may need, take it everywhere you go. Everybody say NASCO.
Get a range from NASCO biscuits today. NASCO cream biscuits, NASCO shortcake biscuits, NASCO cream crackers, NASCO biscuits, the king of biscuits.
It's the Innocent Minds Radio Show.
How time flies when you're catching fun. It's been such a fun time tonight in the studio. My name is Tonrian Panto, and before I leave, I'd like to tell you that, like I said in the beginning, you can be, do, have, and create anything that you want, because if anything is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach.
I also had a lovely time on the show tonight. I believe you did. My parting words for you tonight will be: the seeds you plant today will determine the fruits you harvest tomorrow. The seeds you plant today will determine the fruits you harvest tomorrow. So please go plant positive, good seeds so you have a wonderful future. My name is Onyike Abraham Onyike. See you at our weekend event.
As our plane ride of success comes to its final bus stop tonight, the Innocent Minds Radio Show, here is something that I'd like to say to you, courtesy of our sponsors, NASCO. Success occurs when your dreams get bigger than your excuses. We hope, and I hope, that tonight we have succeeded in allowing those dreams of yours to have space to grow even bigger than they have been, and you are getting rid of excuses and every limiting belief. Much more than that, this weekend, show up on Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. at TLT Events Hall opposite NTA Jos, where NASCO has partnered with us to ensure that it doesn't cost you anything to come to that event and be inspired, be taught, be challenged, and be encouraged to realize that you too can be, do, have, and create anything that you want in your life. Have a fabulous night, have a great weekend ahead, and enjoy yourself all week long until we meet again, same time, same station, on the Innocent Minds radio show, brought to you by NASCO. Bye.
Breaking all limitations, reaching our destination.